Hello, and welcome to yet another edition of Women in Society Hour that often comes your way in every Tuesday from 11 to 12 with your host, Fanta Davo. And today, I am with one superwoman, a woman that serves as a motivation to a lot of women out there. I'm in a particular place that is found in the rural Gambia, commonly known as Koinala. As you all know, Women in Society Hour is a platform where we show to you women that are doing immensely towards the national development, that are there to serve as motivation to other women. And this woman is no other person but Madame Kumba Dafeja. Ka, ka. I was so amazed when I heard about this woman, though it was not something that was prepared. But when I came to this village, I heard about her contribution towards the national development and the development of the rural people. And for that being the case, I will now allow her to introduce herself to the public. You're welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Kumba Dafeka. I am the president of the Tresor Women Warriors, a woman-led organization uplifting women to financial freedom. You are here and welcome to our headquarters here in Kianquinala.
Thank you so much, Ma. I'm really happy and I'm really inspired about the work that you do because it's like you contributing a lot towards the national development, and then it's like the nation or the government has a lot to do, but also institutions that are there towards positive development are also contributing a lot. So, can you tell us what do you do?
In a nutshell, the Treasure Warrior Women does a lot of things, but we have several pillars in the Tresor Warrior Women.
Mm-hmm.
Education is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Agriculture is a main pillar.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship, actually, very, very a critical in our a critical pillar in the Tresor Women Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And we want women to become their best self.
Mm-hmm.
We want women to formalize a lot of the informal sector
Mm-hmm.
that the women are in, particularly in agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we're traders, we're commodity traders. We trade commodities all across the lumos
Okay.
in the country. So in a nutshell, we're entrepreneurs, we're business people, women in business,
Mm-hmm.
women supporting women.
Mm-hmm.
And we also are now in microfinance too as well.
Okay.
We manage Visakas, village financial schemes. We have one in Mamurfana,
Mm-hmm.
where we actually fund women to start their own businesses and for them to fund other women too as well.
Oh my God. I think I would have people on my platform, but today I really got something else because it's just amazing. Because when you look at it, we have a lot of institutions that are always saying this: we are supporting women, we are supporting women in a vague statement, I can say.
Yes.
But it's like the real work is found in Kien.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it is found in the rural Gambia.
Yeah.
Because for so long, people have been complaining about supporting women.
Yeah.
But are they really giving that platform as what you're doing?
Well, it's actually the Tresor Warrior Women launch here in Kianquina. I've been working with women for 15 years. But the Tresor Warrior Men got structured 3 years ago. We launched here. But we worked for 2 years because we didn't want to launch first. We wanted to work first and launched. And so we worked for 2 years, pilot the Tresor Warrior Women in Balangar, in the 7 clusters of Balangar, for about maybe 9 months, a year and a half. The project Treasure Warrior Women was written in Palim Balangar as a woman pioneering, in terms of women empowerment, real women empowerment. I lived in the community in the Balangar area, studied the women psychologically, emotionally, and how we can write a project. Because you cannot write a project if you don't know the people, if you don't know how they think, if you know their issues, and if you don't know how you're going to structure this and what approach you're going to take to be successful. So the project Tresor Warrior was born out of Balangar. We wrote the project there. We piloted for almost 2 years. And when we knew that, it was solid, then we started moving it all across the country. So the reason strategically Queen here is our headquarters because it's strategically located. Going to Banjul is very, very close. Wherever you're going all across the country is very, very close. So we made it our home. We made it our headquarters. My father hailed from Queen here. I never lived here, but coming back, this was the best decision because you have to be where you work.
Sure.
If we're in combo, it defeats the whole purpose.
That's absolutely true because it's like you said, you cannot talk about something that you don't know. That has to do with the approaches that we take to development. Because we understand that we have different approach. We have the bottom approach. We have the bottom up approach. So as a result, if you want to follow the top bottom approach, you're gonna mess up and you're gonna fail.
Thank you.
So it's like you people are doing the bottom up approaches, looking at the problems, bringing the solution, and then emerge as the winners. So as a result, a lot of women are enjoying this thing. It's not because you just sit at that office, design everything, but you have to work with them, understand their feelings, understand what they do, and then there draw your project based on that. And here you are flourishing. You're the institution that is promoting this thing, I think is really commendable. At first I was like, what really inspired this woman to do this?
Let me tell you, this project was born since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had this idea, as well. I lost my mother at a very early age, and I used to say, I don't want women to give their children away. I wanted to be able to impact women, for them to be able to impact their lives, and I am a woman who believes that this all of
Sure.
So what can we do to really empower these women? One, not only financially, but how can these people self-realize, and in that self-realization, they will become an important part of their community. Community building is very, very important because it goes hand in hand. Because if you're strong financially, then you're able to build your community. In building that community, you will become actually community leaders too as well. So there's several things that the Tresor Warrior Women is doing. Representation really matters. Women do matter. We are 52% of the population. So our input, our representation matter. How we are seen as community and in the community. Imagine 52% of the IQ level you're not utilizing in your community. That's a big loss.
It's a big blow.
So for us, we wanted to, become the gem, become something really valuable to the community. So we come in, we uplift the women, but first of all, it's called self-realization because you have to know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and if you do it, what benefit it has for you. So the Tresor Women comes and works with women and really tap into the best of who they are, and then we teach them about business and finance 101, economics 101, and then most importantly, who are you? Why do you matter? What do you do? What are your obstacles? What do you want to do with your life? And then in realizing all of those things, then we start in the process journey of financial independence. And that is building them to build their own businesses.
Actually, that's really interesting, like the self-actualization. It's like you're drawing me back to my the things that I learned in class, like the Maslow hierarchy of needs. You have to have that self-actualization first before you move into other needs. And then like the approaches that you people are taking is really amazing. As you said, I was like I was going through your Facebook profiles, and then I had to catch up this word that you said. You are a woman. You are a woman leading women.
Leading women.
A woman leading women. That word, that statement really inspired me a lot. It's like, despite the fact that you're facing challenges as a woman, but there are thousands of women looking up to you. And then you have to swallow all those challenges to make yourself perfect for those people to see that you're not weak enough, and they can also learn from you and then make themselves better as well. It's like, oh my God, you're really amazing. And then
you're
no, no, it's like you have to be commendable for this thing, because it's like we have a lot of institutions in this country. If they are really doing the practical work that you are doing, then our country we will be in another level. Because it is true that we have limited resources in this country. But the resources that we have, when we are able to utilize those resources, at least we're going to create an impact, like the way you do.
Well, human resources is the biggest resource that anybody has.
Okay.
Because sometimes we only look at the financial resources. But I'm telling you, if you don't have the right human resources and build a strong human resource, whatever money you have, it will just go poof in the air.
Sure.
So what is bigger than human resources? We have that. We have smart people. We have people that can build things, that can do things. And it is really amazing. Wow, women are so resourceful. I cannot tell you how resourceful we are. We can take something of nothing and make it to something so huge, so big. So for me, we start from there, not even the financial part. What can we do? How can we do it? And when we do it, what benefit can we derive from this? I think when we start from there, everything takes care of itself. And who are we? What do we need? What who can we partner with? Who can we collaborate with? And how can we push this? And I think when we ask those questions, it's no longer, can we do this? We know we can do it. It's just the how.
Sure.
And that's what the Tresor Warrior Women did. We have tenacity, we have audacity. And if you look at, the back of my t-shirt, it says we're brave, we're courageous, we're survivors, we're givers, and above all, we're fearless, we're brave, and above all, we're warriors. So the Tresor Warrior Women, if you see the lady, this is Lady Tresor, holding her staff, one woman standing up and saying, I alone, I can make a difference. And you first have this pledge to say, I am going to make a difference, standing with your staff, and said, I stand alone on my chest, but then together, when all the Tresor Warrior Women are wearing it, every woman is standing. And behind all of that, so many women. So we stood tall to conquer everything. And that's what our philosophy, it's the guiding path that illuminates the path, and also the values that we have. The values of the Tresor Warrior Women. A hard worker, someone who is selfless, somebody who is just willing to work and make things happen. Most importantly, your heart has to be cleansed, because the structure of the Tresor Warrior is, in a way, you have to lift yourself to uplift another woman. So
it's like women supporting women. For so long we've been saying this word as well, like women should come together and support the women. But in that aspect also, the development is still lacking. It's like few women have been successful. But there are also few women giving back to those women as well. So as a result, the gap is still being created. So for so long we've been saying gender equality, gender equality, gender equality, gender equity. But we can never close that gap if we're not there to support each other, much especially as women. There's nobody that can come and help us unless we do it together as one. So looking at the Tresor Women Warriors, they are indeed a warriors, because they change in the narratives. And then sometimes we tend to focus development on the urban areas, forgetting the rural Gambia. And they're human beings like us, and they also have that. And maybe we have the privilege that they don't have. But as a result, we shouldn't sideline them in the development of our country. So if somebody is doing like the way you're doing, then I know a lot of rural women will try to uplift themselves in all aspects, because it's like when you uplift me, my self actualization will boost. I would tend to find myself, help my family, and help the people that I'm surrounded with. Because when I came here, I saw women working. They're doing the tie and dye stuff. I was very impressive, because they were all amazing. Because when we came, we said, hello, how are you guys? We're just looking at it. Okay, fine, you're welcome. You said, you can see that receptiveness. They were able. They gave us that platform to sit with them, chat with them. You can. I from that place, I drew the conclusion that it's not always about me. It's about you and others that you're trying to build up with.
Yes.
It's not about you putting yourself first as self-centered, but people putting other people as first. Because when they are not given that platform, they might be only focusing on what they are doing, and the interest of the people that came there would not be seen. But as a result, we came there, they were like, yeah, she's in, but let me get to her and then see whether she's there. You'll see that connection with you. It's not also like you, the superior. You might not be able to interact with them, but there's something that connects you with them. So can you try to tell us something?
Actually, I'm them and they're me.
Okay.
The Tresor Women, there's no really real hierarchy.
Okay.
I mean, yes, I'm the president, but I'm only the president, but I'm at the headquarters.
Okay.
If I visit women in the community,
Okay.
because we have 67 presidents all across the country.
Okay.
One of the ladies that you found that is the tie and dye, Anta, she's the president of the tie and dye Tresor Women unit.
Okay.
If I go to any community, I'm underneath the president, even though I'm the overall president of the Tresor Women. But when I go to Mama Fana, or I go to any other community, or even when I step out of the headquarters, I'm no longer the president. The president, because in criminal here you have a president. You have a president, which is Sajo. She's the president of the Tresor Women Warriors. So, and when I go to the communities, I'm beneath them. So I listen. And they lead the way, and I'm there to learn and to maybe give advice if I can. But these women are empowered. The reason why we do that, because this organization, even though I'm the founder, if something ever happens to me, this organization will carry on. Sure. Because it's not only Kumba, it's 7,000 women all across the country. Sure. And all of them are empowered to take position, to stand up and to be a leader.
That's a legacy.
So we have a lot of leaders in the Tresor Warrior Women who step up and do what they're supposed to do. And that is the reason to the success of the Tresor Warrior Women. Our women are empowered to rise up, as I said, leading women. These are leading women. I happen to lead the leading women, but they lead also a lot of women. So these are strong women. These are women successful in their own rights. They just needed to be structured. They needed to be, brought together so that they will be able to do things that are bigger than them. You talked about earlier in terms of women, coming together, the women's support. I want to take you back there. Okay. And I think that's very, very critical, because I know that there was a bill that was sent to the National Assembly for women representation. And I think there was a lot of people that did not support that bill. And I think a lot of people who probably are not in this area in terms of women development, they did not understand what this bill could have represented for so many women. We live in these communities where most of these women are actually even being coordinated by men. And you talked about a lot of these projects that come, all over the country, and most of them have failed. And because most of these projects also, you don't have a lot of women project coordinators coordinating all across the country. So that's where I called women to say we need more. I mean, particularly women like yourself that are in development. We need more women coordinating the efforts of women. Because if you go all over the country, I'm talking about 90% of these coordinators that are coordinating women are men. Sure. They control the finances. They control what these women do. And in most cases, there's a lot of embezzlement of funds that, because most of these women are not educated too as well. So this is where the educated women come into picture too as well. To, you talk about, I'm able to be in the middle, because I am a woman. And I'm leading all of these women, and I know the needs. I know what we need to do to ensure that we're successful. Sure. This is not only about me. I'm looking at my daughters. I'm looking at the next generation. Sure. So we need more women coming forward to champion this work, because most of this work in project coordinating is done by men, and a lot of these communities that most of these VDCs, a lot of them are bankrupt. And most of these women projects, when they come, the first line of the person that you see is the man that you takes them, tell them do this, do that, and open the accounts. And most of the time, these women don't even know where the money goes and what happens. So I think in terms of when you're talking about to give more women voices, I think if you look at not only women in the urban area, but women in the rural areas, they need to be voices. Representation matters in these communities. And these women will never ever get given an opportunity to even be parliament members.
Absolutely.
They don't have the voice. They don't have the financial capability. And, these things are decided by men in the community. So I think it was critical for people to understand more. Yes, people need to get to places in their own merit. But sometimes you need a boost.
Absolutely.
And you need also that boost can also help a lot of other women. If you send women to represent everybody, not only women, because when women representation, you represent your children, you represent your husband, you represent your brothers, you represent your community as a whole. So for me, I looked at that bill as a stepping stone for so many women that could have never been given an opportunity. This bill could have given them an opportunity to stand up and be sent as a representative to represent the community, and also as well to represent women issues that are never being represented in so many cases.
Yeah.
So it matters.
It really matters, because when you look at that bill, I can say when that bill was accepted, it would have contributed a lot.
Yes.
Because we cannot be shouting that we want this without not being given the platform where we can discuss about it.
Yes.
And then for so long, we've been facing a lot of problems in this. We understand that the society is a patriarchal society.
Yeah.
It is a male-dominant society.
It is.
And then as a result, it is reflecting in our national development.
Yes.
Because when you look at our National Assembly, the majority are men.
Yeah.
And then when you look at this project coordinator, as you rightly said, they are all coordinated by men. So how can we, as a woman, discuss about our issues or taking spearheading about our issues in the presence of men? Like when they are there to coordinate everything, we will not be able to have that platform to discuss about that issues.
One day they have to decide if you're going to be given an opportunity
or not
in the community.
So it is indeed a problem that people, much especially women, we should come together and have one voice.
We should
come together, because when you look at the population itself, we've got the highest.
Yes, and we are the one who elect leaders.
So it's just like my last week program. I was sort of talking about the social issues in connection with our leadership. Like we're about to have our National Assembly election, and then it is always a problem that women that will support for men to be in a position are the same women that are fighting their fellow women not to be in that position. And the same women are the people that will be shouting, we want this. But we cannot promote our own women agenda to be part of it.
Well, it's a social issue. So that's why when things happen, that's why, again, this bill was important. Because we have to look at our social settings and also have to ask ourselves why we behave the way that we do towards other women. Because we were conditioned that way. We were conditioned that way. We were conditioned to think that way. And, we are conditioned also, you have your co-wives. So there's a competition going on all the time. And, so we're conditioned that way. So how can we rise up above the social challenges that we face as women to rise into, in leadership position, to build, financial capability, freedom, and to stand up and to build our own communities. Those are the questions, and I think the Tresor Women is trying to also tackle that, because when you give women voices, you empower them financially, and they are able to stand up in this community, build these communities. by default, they will become community leaders as well.
Absolutely. Just to take you back in most of the time when I'm doing the program, I try to translate it a little in Mandinka, so the people that also want to accept this, like the people that can speak English, they can also. Assalamu alaikum badingol kon ka fale nyami nyimu platform la mi yanan ko musol mi yanan ko the society kono ebe ko kata ko ke kan kaje ko ebe musol ma ko la nyame wate ka dunne ni kacha ya mi yanan ka be dendi musol la yirwala so bimbe kiyan sate wala kono min keta kuya kiyan kuina lati birin nata janga muso la ku kalam da mi yanon ka keta muso mi yanon ko a yirwan jama nata nan kuina la sate kono ande aketa muso la mi yanon ko abe muso jama la nyaton kayakan ande ni muso mo mi yanon ko ay balafa soto la ay munyo soto ando fana londo soto la ka muso sembentu ya so birin aku mo may ngaje ko ni mo fenete bisula ko wala mi yanon ko titala nala kiyan jam fanga sey mo futa ni muso so anata ke mo mi yanon ko birin ko la ko ko ha istinano la yemit anu sambi jere to mi yanon ka keta kumba dafe kati entrepreneur le mate mi yanon ko akamuso sembentu yanda amanka ko akamuso sembentu yanda nin ku dantan nela barala fenku nyin awarata bare package la mi yanon ko amandan ko inala sate da manna nsa ko ni nata na development setting so diben ka jela ko nin yirwa binala anyanta danna tubabu la banko le kan bar amanya na futala na sate dumo min keta ka ngale ka mi rural Gambia barata ya jel ko nyimu fene de mi yanon ko ni nata yirwa manya na danna tubakelen yirwa nyanta kala fene de mi yanon ko anyanta warala ate anyanta jamfalal anu modol bijele mi yanon ko amanka ko ima hani ka yirwa nyin soto wala amanka ko imang daraja la ko yirwa nyin soto bari yirwa nyin man puti maka anyanta futala nyami so birin nyin ay ni yenyi initiation so da je ko nyimu fene mi yanon ko benna office umba asoto la jan do kulal fana mi yanon ko be bebe tar la jan anu mum de mi yanon ko pass sembentu yenda ma di betar la jan sa jaba fa ma ko la nyami ayala mol ma koy ayala community fana ma koy nyin nyon jama mi yanon ko abeke kan nyin community kono ala ko yensewo I am content because amu mo mi yanon ko kamin karang amanka kaya dan karang da mana wala akata social media ler ka fako imbenyin banni na tay fo nya boyta kay nya boyta dula kay kalo ne mo le mi yanon ko abi yiru wala ke ka ando aka min fo aka bara wala bare hada badum yemin fo ni bara tala do la ko katara nya bole to so and Kumba, it's like we are the tail end of the program, so we can just say a few words before we end the program. And
Abaraka, thank you so much for coming to Kian Quinala. We are very we're humbled about this great gesture to come and talk to us. It's every time somebody talks to us, it becomes more of a responsibility. Because for people to come to you to say, I want to talk to you, it means you need to do better.
Yes.
And it means that you need to push more. And every time we raise our voice, it's to do more. And inshallah, with the grace of God, you see what we have done in this headquarters, totally built for the women of the Tresor Women. And we are proud to say that this headquarters and the Tresor Warrior Men, 7,000 women all across the country, in every region, there is no funding from any where. We, as a woman stood up and said, and my husband is my greatest support too as well. When I sold this idea to him, one of the things that I said, I'm sitting here, I am who I am today because my husband is one of the most amazing collaborator, my supporter, and I am just saying this and chills are going, through my body. Today, I am who I am as a result of also the support and the love and the care he has given to me. I mean, he's not here, but to have your wife be all over the country, all over the out of the country, and doing all of this work. So I want to thank him for seeing the light in me and then supporting that light and being my greatest support. And thank you for all of you for coming. And the Tresor Warrior Women, we will continue to grow. We will build ourselves. And this year, the last year we did 27 hectares of groundnut, cultivated 27 hectares of groundnut all over the country. That's huge work.
Indeed.
And every year we're going to do better. We're going to do more. And thank you for the confidence that you have in us and all the nice words that you have said. But I would package it and give it to the women. It is the Tresor Warrior Women who are dynamic. It is the women of the Tresor Warrior Women who are dynamic. And that's the reason why you found this success.
Yeah, this last statement made me emotional. Yeah, it is often said that marriage is partnership. You help each other, you support each other, and you all grow together. So as a result, I'm saying a very big thank you to our uncle right there. Really saying a very big thank you because you really did a great with Auntie. So for that being the case, I'll just thank each and everyone that is watching this program, and then thank Auntie for granting me that opportunity to at least speak with you, despite the fact that it is so prompt, but you're giving us that platform. So until then, see you. Bye bye.